Alright, what's up guys? I am bringing you today my Spiral deck profile. This is, of course, after the Magician's Soul that recently came out. There it is, Magician's Soul. This card is so amazing for this deck because it basically allows you to send a spellcaster to the graveyard, which is going to be our master plan, but additionally, it lets you discard dead Spiral cards from your hand and draw fresh cards. And of course, as you probably know, Spiral cards, like spawn trap cards, have the craziest graveyard effects in almost all of Yu-Gi-Oh! And this card just, like, it has so much synergy with the deck, it's insane. But also, it allows plays like, for example, with Where Art Thou and stuff like that. It lets you search Quick Fix. It does a lot for the deck. I'm posting, I don't know what order I'm going to post this, but I'm either posting a combo video after this or before this video. We'll see what, how it works out. But let's get started. Let's start this deck profile. We play 3 copies of Magician's Soul. Amazing, scary card. Then we play 2 copies of Spiral Master Plan. So Spiral Master Plan, this card's pretty busted. Basically, not a hard once per turn. You can search a Spiral Mission card, which are the seemingly dead spells. So, like these trap cards, you can search them. It's a soft once per turn. So every time you summon it, you get to search it. So you search it like a ton of times. And then on top of it, when this monster is sent to the graveyard, usually when it's linked away, you can add a Spiral Resort, which is the field spell, the Almighty Field spell, which is limited to 1. And then additionally, you get to add the any Spiral monster. And then we'll continue. We play 2 copies of Spiral Super Agent. This card isn't like as good as it used to be. It's still a good card, but it's sort of fallen back a little bit. But it's definitely still one of the better cards to see in your opening hand because it pops stuff and it's good for testing for double helix. So you can test with this card and then double helix, so you know you're right. But yeah, this is the Super Agent. Basically, you look at your opponent's deck, and if you guess what the top card is, and you special summon, it's like a free summon. It's awesome. And then some cards get additional effects if you have it on the field, like Quick Fix. We've got 1 copy of Sleeper. This is our boss monster. It pops your opponent's cards, and then it makes you pop one of your cards, but you're never going to lose anything because you can either target itself with gear equipped, which will do absolutely nothing, or you can target one of your goofy cards that you don't really need. But yeah, it's awesome. And this basically you equip and then it protects the Sleeper. It's like a little 2-card combo there. We play 1 copy of Spiral Quick Fix. He's disgusting. You can abuse him so well because of various XYZ mechanics, and you just keep getting him in the graveyard. His effects aren't once per turn. He gets banished when he leaves the field, but if you put him under an XYZ monster, it doesn't even matter. He's like disgusting. And he's so easy to get now with Where Art Thou and the Magician's Soul. It's insane. Like I said, combo videos coming soon. Spiral Gear Drone, another card that's limited to 1. These are limited to 1 because of Machine Dupe. If Machine Dupe wasn't around, I probably would be at 3, but yeah, they're pretty busted with Machine Dupe around. But yeah, this card basically lets you look at your opponent's top of their deck to make sure that you kind of know what they have in their hand and kind of reset it. So that's effect number 1, and then effect number 2, it basically lets you get a Spiral card from the graveyard by banishing this and another Spiral card. It lets you get a Super Agent, I meant to say. 1 DD Crow because it is searchable. You can bump this number up if you want to. Then we play this. These are the Dangers. They're basically like a bunch of upstart goblins, and they give you monsters. It's beautiful. And then, of course, you have those spawn trap cards in your hand that are seemingly dead, but they are not they are not once per turns at all, so it doesn't matter if you discard those cards because you get to special summon free stuff from your graveyard and from your hand. So we play 2 Danger Tsuchinoko, we play 2 Danger Jackalope, and 2 Danger Nessie. I'm thinking about adding the Mothman also. He's actually kind of decent. And with Master Rule 5 around the corner, this deck could probably make some pretty cool rank 4 plays. So I might add them in later on. We'll see how things go. Because this deck is going to still... Like, U-linking is not going to be as profound as it is now. So you might want to throw in some rank 4s when that time comes. But that time hasn't come, so we're talking about today. Then for the spells, let's move that stuff out of the way. Play one copy of Spiral Resort. We'd play more, but we can't. It is searchable. You get it very quickly. With Magician's Soul, you get this card so quickly because you send the master plan to the graveyard almost immediately whenever you have the Magician's Soul, and then you get to just start looping rescues and getting this card. Like, this card comes to your hand so quickly, it doesn't even matter anymore. You don't have to play, like before you used to play, I forget off the top of my head what the exact name of it is, but it's the field spell that lets you banish a field spell and then copy that effect. Like, you don't even need to play that anymore because it's so easy to get the master plan. Play two copies of Assault. This card, the first effect, I swear I've never even read. But the second effect is you can banish this card from the graveyard to special summon a Spiral from the hand, and that is not a hard once per turn. So again, this is another card you can put in the graveyard with Magician's Soul, or you can put in the graveyard with Quick Fix by discarding, or you can just Barricade Blocker or the Nightmares. You just got to get this in the graveyard as quick as possible. Play a copy of Spiral Gear Red, Big Red. You don't need to play more than one. It's searchable. Play three copies of Where Art Thou. This card, basically, it comes in and out of the meta. It was decent in Blue Eyes years ago, and now it's very, very good in this deck. Basically, if you control level 1, you can search level 1. If you don't normal summon that level 1, you take 2,000 damage, but it really doesn't matter. Whether you take the damage or not, it sets you up for the most amazing combo. And again, I'll probably upload that later, either today or whenever. Three copies of Sky Striker Mobilize Engage. This card, first of all, we do have a ton of spells, so it's very likely that you will draw, off of it. But mostly we just do it to search the Mecha Hornet drones, which will give us a free monster. And because it's a link-based deck, it just gives us more gas to summon nightmares and like fill zones. It's very helpful for that. And then we play one Widow Anchor. You just kind of play it for just in case you go second, I guess, or because you're not like it's kind of pointless to have it because this isn't Sky Striker, so you're gonna have a full monster board, so it's gonna be a dead card eventually. But you can always discard it. There's dangers. Like it's like nothing is ever really a dead card in this deck. But yeah, we play the one Widow Anchor, and yeah, but mostly you're just gonna be going for the Hornet drones. And then we play Reinforcements of the Army, search our super agent, play two copies of Foolish Burial Goods, which just sends our Spiral mission cards to the graveyard so we can get their graveyard effects. And we play two because it is a hard once per turn, unlike the Foolish Burial, which just kind of helps facilitate the graveyard. Play three copies of Called by the Grave because we don't want to get hand trapped too badly. One copy of One for One because this card is nuts in this deck because we have two amazing level 1 targets, which is the Magician's Soul and the Spiral Quick Fix. Either one is amazing. And then we play three copies of Spiral Mission Rescue because this gives us free monsters from the graveyard. It's like Monster Reborn that we basically set up through a variety of ways. And then let's go to the extra deck. We play Lyrilusk, Recital, Starling. Basically, this card is really cool because it can buff the attack of Appaloosa by 600 for no reason, and among other cards. But the really awesome thing about this card is that it searches our good friend DD Crow for free. Then we play, and like I said, you do need to play the level 1 the rank 1 XYZs because after you XYZ summon, the monsters that you XYZ summon with kind of are like in another like space of the game. So when you link away the rank 1, the monster that's underneath it goes automatically to the graveyard. So you can actually get around something like a Spiral, what is it called? Spiral Quick Fix getting banished after it leaves the field because you basically just get around it, which is really good. And then you can abuse Spiral Quick Fix. So even if you had a rank 1 that did absolutely nothing, it would still be useful to play it. But these just so happen to be some of the more useful ones. So this basically searches DD Crow. This lets you mill the top 3 cards and then add a spell, but typically you want to go for this because it gives you an additional interruption. You've got one Link because it kind of helps sometimes to help kind of finish a U board sometimes. Barraborg Blocker. This card is insane for this deck because it lets you discard stuff like rescues and other spiral, and the other spiral mission card, the spell one. It's just amazing because it's already good, but additionally lets you add back the resort if you had to, or it even lets you add the rescue if you happen to like lose it or something. Like it lets you add those back if you really need to. But it's really good in this deck because before you could never. It was tough to use some of the nightmares because you would have to because you didn't have any of your opponent's cards that target or destroy, so you wouldn't want to destroy your own, or you wouldn't want to spin your own. But this stops you from going super minus. Play one copy of Double Helix, might bump it up to 2. One Security Dragon. I like this card a lot. It's when it's co-linked, you get to bounce a card. I think it's really useful for that. One Nightmare Cerberus. Unicorn. Griffin. All the homies. Phoenix, my favorite. Trigate Wizard. This is, you set up the triple negate. The Saryuja is a controversial one. Yeah, I was playing this deck before with Orcust, but obviously I can't do that now because Mermaid is gone. So you can still play it with... You can still probably increase the amount of dangers and then still play the Orcust engine in here and, Folding Girsu, Galatea, all that stuff, if you wanted to, but I think this way... I just wanted to do sort of like a pure deck with the Magician's Soul for now. But yeah, Saryuja's pretty decent because it has the same arrows essentially as the next card, Appaloosa, but it just has a totally different like play because you can like draw and then put cards back and then special summon an additional card from your hand, kind of extend your plays, but it's kind of whatever you want to do. Then we've got the Appaloosa Bow of the Goddess, which gives you the negates, and of course it has amazing arrows. So like with both of these, you can still do U-links and stuff while they're still useful. One copy of Borlo Dragon and one copy of Borosword Dragon just to finish off games. The only thing I think would use the most work is probably the extra deck. But other than that, I think I'm very happy with the deck. Like I said, I'm probably going to post that combo video. Just let me know if that's something you guys want to see. I'm probably going to post it anyway. But thank you for watching.